Coming up, after a chaotic and nearly 8-hour standoff with police, the man accused of opening fire in an Atlanta hospital is now in custody. And since the start of this year's Kentucky Derby, 4 horses have mysteriously died. Race officials are now calling for answers as we're learning how the horses died. The Daily Rundown starts now. This is Straight Arrow News, bringing you unbiased, straight facts. I'm Kara Rucker. Police have arrested the man suspected of killing a CDC worker and injuring 4 other people at a medical facility in Atlanta.
Thanks to the highly trained police officers across our region, we are able to bring this suspect into custody without further harm. He will be charged and stand trial for his crimes. Not only did law enforcement bring this man into custody, they also kept our community safe during an enormously tense afternoon and evening.
24-year-old Dion Patterson, a U.S. Coast Guard veteran, was in a waiting room at a hospital when he reportedly became agitated, took out a handgun, and opened fire before leaving and stealing an unattended truck. Authorities arrested Patterson at a nearby condo building. In a statement, the CDC confirmed that their colleague Amy St. Pierre was killed in the shooting. Police say the suspect's family has been cooperating with their investigation, and his mother has expressed her condolences to the victims and their families. Former President Trump's criminal case in Manhattan will have its second public hearing today. A judge is hearing arguments over whether Trump should be limited in what he can say publicly about the evidence against him. Trump will not be in attendance at today's hearing. Last month, he pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Florida Republicans on Wednesday approved bills to ban diversity programs in colleges and prevent students and teachers from being required to use pronouns that don't correspond to someone's sex. The 2 proposals were given final passage by the Republican supermajorities in the House and Senate, with Governor Ron DeSantis expected to sign the bills into law. Republican allies of DeSantis approved his priority bills this legislative session, some of them on sexual orientation, gender identity, race, and education, that are expected to be talking points if or when DeSantis runs for president. The state's legislative session ends this week. There are new concerns over more possible turmoil in the banking industry after shares of Pacwest Bank Corp plummeted more than 50% after trading ended on Wednesday. The market reaction followed a Bloomberg News report that indicated it could be exploring a potential sale. The mid-sized California-based bank has around $44 billion in assets. It comes just days after JP Morgan stepped in to buy the majority of assets from First Republic Bank, the 3rd major U.S. bank to go under in a few months' span.
The big news is that we have one manufacturer now that has produced an RSV vaccine that is targeted to older adults. So along with influenza vaccine and COVID vaccine, we'll be able to prevent serious disease that can lead to hospitalization in older adults against these 3 very bad respiratory viruses.
The FDA has approved the world's first RSV vaccine, a shot for adults 60 years or older. The vaccine is considered a milestone that's been decades in the making. Researchers first attempted to develop a vaccine for the respiratory virus nearly 60 years ago. The CDC's input is still needed before the vaccine can become available to the public. A meeting with a CDC committee is scheduled for June to discuss the newly approved RSV shot. 4 horses have died since the opening night of the Kentucky Derby. Churchill Downs Racetrack, which hosts the crown jewel of competitive horse races, called the deaths highly unusual and completely unacceptable. While thousands of horses have died in the last decade from racing-related injuries, 4 deaths during a single Kentucky Derby week, which takes place every May in Louisville, Kentucky, have owners, trainers, and animal welfare activists asking questions. 2 horses died from unknown causes when they both suddenly collapsed after completing races. 2 more horses were euthanized this week due to serious injuries. The Derby says they take the deaths very seriously and say the incidents must be addressed. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching the Daily Rundown. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by serving only you, not an agenda. Be sure to check out more of our work at straightarrownews.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.